energy, the vibes are high, and the wisdom is real.
We're two black mature ravers who are married and here to talk about all things rave culture, like sustainability, wellness, and keeping the energy alive no matter your age.
From festivals to fashion, mindset to music, relationships to rave aftercare, we've got you covered.
So whether you're an OG raver in the scene or just discovering the magic, join the Vibe Tribe and let's keep the rhythm going. Welcome to Two Boundless Vibes. I'm Tim.
And I'm Lauren. Today, we're talking about budgeting. I got my numbers, running glasses on. I'm good to go. I do want to say before we get into it, thank you for sticking around. I know we skipped a week. Personal things going on in our lives and we had to make some adjustments.
It happens.
Anyway, this is not no Klarna or Afterpay type of situation. This is sustainable advice for how to afford to go to as many raves as possible. This is how we go to a lot of raves. It's how we do other things as well, but just great budgeting tips for if you want to have a great rave season. Right.
Okay.
So first and foremost, let's go over the costs. What are the costs associated with going to rave?
Well, there's the local raves and there's the travel raves. So I think first off is as you look at decide which one you really want to do. Local raves, off the bat, they're cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cheaper, maybe not in the price of the ticket, but in the overall package of having to pay for travel, having to pay for food, having to pay for hotels,
outfits.
All of these things, you have to budget.
And there's last minute things that come up as well. And also, you also want to consider the budget of how much time do you have off, because you may need to take time off to go to the rave or to recover from the rave.
Absolutely.
So you want to also make sure that you consider that. So you want to make sure that you have 100% of the cost. Now, the money, of course, and time off, you want to have 100% of it accounted for before you go. You don't ever want to go to a rave and you put it on credit, or you don't have enough to eat and fuel your body properly. You want to make sure that you've considered all the costs and that you have that money up front, right?
Okay.
So the way that we do it is we kind of work as a couple. And I think if you don't have a partner or spouse or significant other, you can also do this with a friend, a rave pal.
True.
You guys want to go to multiple festivals, and you guys can sit down together and plan these things out. But it really helps to have somebody to split some of this cost with you. If you have a group of people that you do it with, that you go to raves with, sit down and talk to them before the rave and get all the costs kind of associated with the rave, a budget going for that, right? So tip number 2, you need a baseline budget. So this leads right into that. You need to know how much it is that you're going to spend and how long you have to save. No, how much you have to save that money.
Okay.
How much time you have, right? So you need a budget. So ditch the FOMO. You can't go to all the raves. You just can't go to all the raves. So you're going to have to pick some, right?
But we have to go to all the raves.
No.
We have to.
But you're not going to. So pick 2 or 3, right? And then you, your friend, your partner, whatever, decide which ones you're going to go to and then come up with the budget, right?
Okay. Now, as we've talked about that budget, we've talked about a couple of things, like, what it's going to include and things like that. What's your timeline for budget?
Well, it depends on when you're trying to go to the rave. So, I would say, take a step back for a second, right? Try to consider this. What do you want to do the next year?
Okay.
It's better to have a plan. Like, you say it's festival season now, right? And you're like, oh, but I really want to go to Tomorrowland. Well, you can't go to Tomorrowland. It's too late.
Obviously.
Okay, right? You might be able to go to some smaller festivals, but you can't do certain festivals if you haven't planned. So you might as well say, let me think about it now. Let me chart this plan now so that you can start to save your money now.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. That's one way of doing it. I know for us also, we've just always dedicated a certain amount of our income.
We're going to get there.
Okay.
Right now, we're just talking about skip the FOMO. Let's go straight into it. Pick what you want to do up front. Have a plan. None of this last minute. somebody just like, we're going to a day trip and it's next week. Like, bro.
So what you're saying is that even as soon as the festival is announced, that's when you should start planning, or even before the
I wouldn't
festival.
even say as soon as the festival is announced. Pick the few festivals, pick like 2 or 3 big ones that you want to go to, you and your friends want to go to, pick them, think about the cost now, and if and when the tickets go on sale, then okay, maybe you can, or if the tickets are already on sale, go ahead and get started towards that budget. I personally don't believe in the making payments method, and we're going to get into that in just a little bit. I don't believe in the, I'll set up a payment plan. No, like we want to have a slush fund for the fun.
Okay.
A slush fund for the fun.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. So after you decide what you want to go to, you're going to start to put money away for the raves. So you can tell everybody how we do that.
Okay. We put money every 2 weeks, each one of us.
I do every week, but he does.
I do every 2 weeks.
But every time he gets paid.
Every time I get paid, just like you have money, I have money going into my 401k. I have money going into this one. So I have money coming out for my insurance. I have money coming out for all of these things. So it comes right out. I never even see it, but it goes over there and it's over there and it's taken care of just right off the bat.
Right.
And this way, in the rest of my life budget, I've already planned this money to be gone. So
Right.
it's not even a thing, whatever the amount is, and it's whatever you can afford, So whatever you can afford, and you let that build, and if you let it sit for a while, it builds faster than you think.
Right. Especially if you're doing it as, like I said, you do it as a team. Multiple people are putting away towards the festival. But consider also that you don't need all of the cost when you buy the ticket.
Right.
What we're saying is, don't buy the ticket till you have all the money, and think about when other things are going to become due in that list, like the food. You're not going to buy that till you get there, so you don't really need that till the day of the festival, right? The transportation, you may or may not need till the day of the festival. So some of these things are like, okay, I'm going to buy the ticket by this time, I'll have enough money for the rest of the stuff by the time the festival comes, and we're good.
That works.
So tip number 3.
Okay.
This is a big one. This is the best one of the best ones. Figure out your lodging early. Please don't try to go down there where we staying. It's going to cost you 3 times the amount. The rooms are going to be booked. It's going to be hard to find lodging. It's going to cost you a lot more money. You're not going to get as good of accommodations.
And it's crazy because if you can figure out your lodging even before the tickets go on sale, like if you know what day the festival is going to be, and you can figure out the lodging before your tickets, you're going to get your lodging a lot cheaper.
Yeah. And consider the cost. Like you want to compare like camping to a hotel, and also thinking, okay, if I camp, I don't need an Uber, or I don't need a cab, or whatever, get a ride, whatever it is that you're going to do. I don't need a parking pass because I'm going to do this way or the other way. But figure that out way early.
And a lot of times, if you book early, they have a lot of specials that run that allows you to book it without paying for it all,
Yes, you pay for
and
it.
have free cancellation as well. So in the event that something comes up and you can't go, you don't lose
waste
that
your
money. You don't lose that
And
money.
think about this: if you get lodging with a free breakfast, that's considered in your food cost.
Exactly.
But please take a look at what the breakfast is, because you don't want to sit there and sugary breakfast and then go to a rave. It's really not it. You need some protein. Because we've gotten a continental breakfast and we were like, I can't eat any of this. It's just going to make me like lazy and it's not going to feed my body. So
Exactly.
consider that. Okay. Tip number 4, and this is right in line with what we're talking about, plan your meals. Plan your meals. We typically will have some sort of protein in our room, like a protein bar, protein water, protein something in our room so that when we come back, we have something. And or if in the morning we wake up and we don't want to run out to a restaurant, we have something. But we also eat like a solid meal, protein centered, lots of fiber, a few hours before we go.
Yeah. To me, when we're eating like that, it's just like when I was playing ball.
Yeah.
You need to fuel that body correctly, give it time to process all that energy, all that nutrition, so that when the time for the event comes, you got the energy to go, you got the energy to burn.
True.
So it's just like, you being an athlete, when you're preparing for yourself and you're going out there and you got to perform, this is the same type.
Yeah,
this
and
is the
you
approach I
make
take.
really bad food decisions, especially after a rave, if you haven't planned. You don't have anything in your room and you're starving when you get back. Oh, you're just gonna go order Uber Eats. A, it costs more money, and B, you're probably gonna get McDonald's or something. So
Right.
that's not where it's at. Don't do that to yourself. So plan to bring snacks, plan your meals, plan how you're gonna fuel your body because you want to feel your best. You don't want to have a stomachache. You don't want to have gas. I mean, there's so many things to think about.
He said that.
Real.
He just walked through the festival, crop dusting people, just like,
You looking around like, you did that. You know,
That's
All
funny.
right.
That's funny.
Tip number 5 is to stick to the plan, okay? There's a lot of opportunities to overspend at a rave. If you're just gonna buy like 7 or 8 drinks on the spot, that's like, it's okay, but A, it's not good for your body, but B, it's just really not good for your budget. So just have a plan, stick to your plan. There are a lot of experiences that you can have at the rave that you may or may not need to have. Like, do you really want to ride the Ferris wheel?
But at the same point in time, if you're going to have 5 or 6 drinks, budget for it. Understand what that means, what it looks like. Mm-hmm. That's because drinks there are not cheap.
Yeah.
You know, we live in LA, and the drinks at the festivals, many times cost more than they do out here in LA. And they're not cheap out here in LA.
And they're not, and for me, they're like really sugary, and it's a whole bunch of things. But I don't want to get into it, but just stick to your plan. Sometimes sticking to your plan may mean that you skip the afters or that you prepaid for the afters, whatever. Just stick to the plan because your budget will thank you later. When you go to a rave and you enjoy the experience and everything that you have to enjoy, you already have it in your wallet, and it's like, okay.
Yeah,
So you
no-brainer.
don't need to recover before the next rave.
Yeah.
So I would say, please stick to your plan.
And the great thing also about this is that you're constantly building for your next event. Mm-hmm. Meaning that, even though you got all of this going on, you're putting away enough money that after you got this, you took care of this, guess what? You already got money going towards the next event, and you're still building. So it's constant.
And further, if you play your cards right and you're putting away towards your rave, a lot of times another event will come up, right? Before, like a little smaller event will come up and it'll cost like $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, maybe even $80. Let's just go all the way to $80. And we'll say like, oh, this looks cool. I really want to go to that. You want to go? I want to go. And we know that we've had our because we picked 2 or 3 big raves, but we really only went to like 1 or 2, right? Now we've got the extra slush fund to say, oh, we could just pick up and go. So we're able to go to a lot more friends' birthday parties that are basically rave events. last minute circle events. I mean, like we run the whole gamut, but that's how we stay actively out there as we manage our funds.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, in conclusion, do not finance your party. Do not finance your festivals. Do not finance your raves. I understand that people are not paying back these Klarna and Afterpays as they're supposed to, but I do believe it's best to have a budget.
Okay, now with that being said, also, you got to understand that there are some events like EDC, they put you on their payment plan. So you're not financing anything, you just have to make the monthly payment.
Yeah, I'm less bothered by that and more so just saying, I think this is how we go about purchasing rapes. We've never taken anyone's payment plan. And I find that to be...
Well, I won't say we. We've never done it.
We ain't done it.
I've done it in the past when, I'm looking up and I say, right now, I don't have the full 500 to go to EDC.
But that's because that was before we started planning together.
This is true. This is true.
And now we're like, okay,
now that we
we're gonna do
plan.
it. Yeah.
But for the people out there who, this is still an option.
Yeah, you can. It is an option.
It is an option.
Especially if you're trying to weigh things like when we were going to Tomorrowland, we need airfare and we need these very expensive tickets that include the hotel. It was like, you need the whole gamut right now if you're going to go. And so I could definitely see if they had a payment plan. I did not see one. If they had one, probably would have because it was quite expensive.
But with that being said, I do understand exactly what you're saying with these other payment platforms.
Yeah, it's just not responsible or sustainable. And I think if you want to have a good time, a lot of the times for a long time.
Yes.
I did that there. Then you should be mindful of your budget. And that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. And it gives you less stress. So when you get home, you're not worried about, oh my God, what do I have to eat for the next week? Or
Can I
pay my cell
I see
phone
people
bill?
do
Can I
that.
pay my
You
rent?
can't call
You know, those type of things.
Yeah.
So it's just being, financially responsible. And it's a lot less stressful. It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
Very
And
easy.
on a clear note, I just want to add one more thing. I
Sure.
usually do a clear closing. I think I've talked about this before, but as far as sustainability for the fashion, I do believe that there are many ways you can save money, and it's more sustainable for our planet. And there are a lot of applications out there that you can put on your phone. They have Depop, Poshmark. You can go to the thrift store. And I think that these are better methods for finding unique and creating unique looks that are more sustainable. And it also will save you loads of money because you go onto these sites, these rave outfits for women are like hundreds of dollars. Hundreds of dollars for just outfit you want to wear one time. That's not sustainable for your budget either. It's not. So a lot of times for me personally, I do buy new outfits occasionally, but most of the time it's a mix of thrifted items. So just consider that.
Definitely.
All right.
Absolutely.
See you next time.